His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received at Shakir Palace the head of the Chechen Republic, Ramadan Kadyrov, on the occasion of his visit to the kingdom. His Majesty the King welcomed Kadyrov and discussed with him close ties between Bahrain, Chechnya and Russia to further joint cooperation for the benefit of all. They also discussed the Arab-Islamic Summit, which will be held in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, expressing their wishes for the upcoming summit to reach good results that contribute to containing the escalation in the region and protecting the legitimate rights of the brotherly Palestinian people. For his part, the head of the Chechen Republic expressed thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for the warm welcome and generous hospitality. He also expressed pride in His Majesty's efforts to consolidate friendship and cooperation ties between the two countries. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, chaired the weekly Cabinet meeting at Gudaibiya Palace. The Cabinet recognised His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's appreciation for the Minister of Interior's efforts and those responsible for the Kingdom's alternative sentencing programme, which has exceeded global standards. The Cabinet praised the success of the alternative sentencing programme and expressed gratitude to the Ministry of Interior and its personnel for their efforts in achieving the programme's goals. In line with the National Action Plan to achieve carbon neutrality as announced by His Majesty the King, and following the directives of His Royal Highness on Bahrain's commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2060, the Cabinet approved the launch of the National Tree Week initiative. This event, to take place annually on the third week of October, aims to raise environmental awareness, promote eco-friendly practices and expand green spaces across the Kingdom. The initiative also supports the Kingdom's long-term goal of planting 3.6 million trees by 2035. The Cabinet welcomed the ISF Gymnasiad Bahrain 2024, which saw the highest participation in the competition. The opening ceremony of the competition was held under the patronage of His Majesty the King. The Cabinet highlighted the role of His Majesty the King's representative for humanitarian work and youth affairs and Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and the support of the First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, in advancing the Kingdom's sports sector. These efforts contributed to the success of the ISF Gymnasiad Bahrain 2024. The Cabinet extended its best wishes to Bahraini students for success in the competition. The Cabinet emphasised the need to halt regional escalation and prioritise diplomatic solutions to prevent regional war and conflict, thereby preserving peace and security in the Middle East and globally. The Cabinet then approved the following: a memorandum submitted by the Government Executive Committee on a draft law amending the private sector's labour law to support the Kingdom's ongoing efforts in combating human trafficking. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance on the procedures for licensing places of worship for non-Muslims. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Community Services on labour market indicators until the third quarter of 2024. The indicators revealed that 19,689 Bahrainis benefited from job opportunities, achieving 98% of the annual target of 20,000 jobs outlined in the Kingdom's Economic Recovery Plan. The Cabinet expressed appreciation to all private sector companies and institutions in this regard. The report also showed the training of 13,679 Bahraini citizens, exceeding the annual target of 10,000 training by 137%. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on a draft resolution amending some provisions of the resolution to establish the Coordination and Follow-up Committee between Bahrain and UN agencies, and a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs and the Government's response to a proposal submitted by the Representatives Council and a draft law submitted by the Shura Council. The Cabinet then reviewed the following: a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance on the State's General Budget for the two fiscal years 2025 to 2026. The memo showed the Kingdom's ongoing economic growth in line with its fiscal balance targets, while also creating quality opportunities for Bahraini citizens and enhancing government performance for service delivery. The Cabinet then noted the following ministerial reports: the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 2024 annual meetings of the IMF and the World Bank Group, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 3rd Belt and Road Energy Ministerial Conference, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the opening of the 2nd Global Conference on Population, Health and Human Development, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the opening of the Global Health Forum 2024, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 63rd International Congress and Convention Association, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the Multilateral Industrial Policy Forum, and the external participation of ministers and the visits of foreign delegations to Bahrain for November 2024. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, marked the beginning of National Tree Week by planting a tree at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness expressed pride in the efforts of the Kingdom's national workforce in implementing the initiatives of the National Action Plan to achieve carbon neutrality as announced by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness affirmed Bahrain's commitment to adopting plans and programmes that support development, with a particular focus on initiatives that enhance environmental security and embedded environmentalism as a core aspect of Bahrain culture. His Royal Highness emphasised that aligning national environmental plans with international goals reaffirms Bahrain's commitment to being an active partner in global efforts aimed at achieving environmental security. His Royal Highness noted that National Tree Week will contribute to the Kingdom's afforestation plan, fostering collaboration among official and civil entities, as well as citizens, residents and all members of Team Bahrain. The initiative aims to achieve One Plan's goal of planting 3.6 million trees by 2035. His Royal Highness expressed his gratitude and appreciation to the individuals and entities responsible for implementing the afforestation plan. His Royal Highness acknowledged their ongoing support for the Kingdom's broad goals of enhancing environmental awareness, encouraging the adoption of eco-friendly practices and expanding green spaces across Bahrain. His Royal Highness highlighted the importance of continuing afforestation and greening efforts across all projects, as these initiatives support the goals set for the environmental sector and contribute to the Kingdom of Bahrain's commitment to achieving carbon neutrality by 2060. Several senior officials were also in attendance at the event. National Tree Week will be held annually on the 3rd week of October. The Government of the Kingdom of Bahrain, under the leadership of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, sought to increase its afforestation operations, especially after the Kingdom announced its goal of reaching carbon neutrality by 2060 and the adoption of a set of short-term goals announced during COP26. More in this report.
Based on its responsibility towards global challenges and affirming its commitment to partnerships for the good and well-being of humanity, the Kingdom of Bahrain has been diligently implementing development programs that take into account the achievement of environmental security to reflect the objectives of the comprehensive development process under the leadership of His Majesty the King, which was affirmed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister during the 26th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP26.
Today I am pleased to announce that Bahrain is committed to reaching net zero by 2060 and has set a range of ambitious interim goals to ensure that we proceed without delay. By 2035, we will reduce emissions by 30% through decarbonisation and efficiency initiatives and double our deployment of renewables from the targets we set at COP21. Our 2035 targets also include carbon removal solutions by quadrupling mangrove coverage, doubling tree coverage in Bahrain, and directly investing in carbon capture technologies, which we believe is essential.
The National Afforestation Strategy is the most prominent initiative related to maintaining the environmental balance, as the plan aims to double the number of trees to reach 3.6 million by 2035. Part of this plan has been implemented during the past 2 years through a number of initiatives and policies that aim to increase afforestation and motivate all parties to participate in afforestation projects to ensure achieving the annual target, which consists of increasing the number of trees in government projects, encouraging community partnership to increase the green area, providing supportive policies for afforestation, adopting the necessary mechanisms to monitor the progress made in afforestation, and standardizing afforestation. The afforestation plan also aimed to increase mangrove trees fourfold until 2035. The mangrove tree has the ability to absorb carbon dioxide equivalent to 4 or 5 times that of ordinary trees, and represents an important biological habitat for crustaceans and marine organisms as well as various kinds of birds. Due to its importance in achieving the Kingdom's national targets, the Ministry of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture opened a specialized mangrove nursery in Tubli area. In order to reach zero neutrality by 2060 and to fulfill the requirements of sustainable development, Bahrain's government-led initiatives continue in cooperation with the private sector based on community partnership, making the Kingdom a model in many projects and initiatives that address climate change.
His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, met with the Speaker of the Representatives Council, Ahmed Al Musallam, and the Chairman of the Shura Council, Ali Asala, at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness affirmed that Team Bahrain continues to overcome challenges, turning them into success stories and opportunities, in line with the development, visions and aspirations of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. He expressed pride in Team Bahrain's efforts across the executive and legislative authorities, private sector institutions and civil societies, which have formed the basis for many achievements over the years. His Royal Highness highlighted the importance of working as one team to continue implementing visions, plans and development programmes across various sectors in parallel with the Kingdom's desired goals. His Royal Highness affirmed the importance of close cooperation between the executive and legislative authorities, noting that cooperation is the foundation upon which achievements must be built. On the occasion of the launch of National Tree Week, in support of the National Action Plan to achieve carbon neutrality introduced by His Majesty, His Royal Highness affirmed Bahrain's commitment to promoting environmental awareness, expanding green spaces and preserving Bahrain's environment and the sustainability of its resources. His Royal Highness noted the importance of strengthening community partnerships to support environmental protection, which enhances climate security and supports sustainable development efforts. For their part, Al Musallam Al Saleh and the Chairman of the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Samir Nas, expressed their appreciation for His Royal Highness's commitment to supporting joint national action, which advances the Kingdom's development and achieves the aspirations of its citizens. The Deputy Prime Minister, Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Minister of Interior, General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, the Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, Samir Nas and a number of senior officials also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, met with the outgoing Ambassador of Turkey to Bahrain, Isa Jakil, at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness highlighted the strength of the bilateral relations, driven by mutual commitment to strengthening ties, and extended his best wishes to the outgoing ambassador for success in her future endeavours. He emphasised Bahrain's commitment to strengthening Bahraini-Turkish relations and expanding multi-sectorial collaboration to achieve mutual aspirations. During the meeting, regional and global developments as well as issues of common interest were discussed. For her part, the ambassador expressed her gratitude for His Royal Highness's commitment to supporting the bilateral relations for the benefit of all. The Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, also attended the meeting. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif Al-Zayani, met with Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates of Jordan, Dr. Ayman Safadi. They discussed the close fraternal relations between both countries and ways to develop bilateral cooperation in all fields in a way that serves the mutual interests of the two countries in light of the directives of His Majesty the King and His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan. Views were also exchanged in regional developments, the war in Gaza and southern Lebanon, regional escalation and Arab and international efforts being made to reach an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza and Lebanon, and to reduce tension and escalation to preserve regional security and stability. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, met in Barcelona with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, European Union and Cooperation of Spain, José Bueno, on the sidelines of the 9th Mediterranean Union Regional Forum. They discussed the path of relations between Bahrain and Spain and ways to develop aspects of joint coordination in all fields and raise them to more comprehensive levels that serve common interests. The meeting also discussed the latest developments in the region, current regional and international challenges and issues of common interest. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, participated in the 9th Regional Forum of the Union for the Mediterranean held in Barcelona. Dr. Al Zayani stressed the importance of addressing the military escalation and implementing the relevant Security Council resolutions related to the war in Gaza and Council Resolution 1701 and the situation in Lebanon, calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, releasing hostages and detainees, and allowing the flow of humanitarian aid. He said that the way to achieve sustainable peace in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict is through a just and comprehensive solution to the Palestinian cause, based in the two-state solution. The Foreign Minister called for the implementation of the initiatives adopted at the Arab Summit held in Bahrain last May, including supporting international recognition of the Palestinian state, holding an international peace conference to address the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, and initiatives related to providing educational and health services to those affected by conflicts and disputes in the region. He said that the interdependence between Europe and the Middle East has become increasingly evident in the areas of security, safety and economic relations. The Minister of Labour and member of the Ministerial Committee for follow-up on the implementation of the National Plan to promote national belonging and consolidate the values of citizenship at Bahrain, Jamil Humaydan, affirmed the Ministry's commitment to implementing the directives of His Majesty the King to consolidate the Bahraini identity in light of the comprehensive development process led by His Majesty the King and the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Humaydan said that the Ministry has implemented the experts and the For You initiatives within the Bahrain National Plan, praising the support of the Minister of Interior and Chairman of the Ministerial Committee of the Ministry of Labour's efforts in the field of implementing its two national initiatives. Humaydan added that the launch of the National Platform for Bahraini Experts represents a qualitative leap in the field of supporting national competencies and marketing them at the regional level. Humaydan pointed out that the Ministry of Labour has begun preparing to honour a number of workers in high-risk professions as part of the For You initiative, which aims to highlight the efforts and sacrifices of loyal national cadres working in high-risk professions. The second edition of the Bahrain Real Estate Innovation Competition held the final evaluation sessions for the finalists to evaluate the participating projects and determine the top 3 winners. In this context, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Real Estate Regulatory Authority, Engineer Isam Khalaf, expressed thanks and appreciation to the preliminary and final jury and all participants in the competition, noting that the second edition of this competition witnessed greater competition in presenting innovative projects and focused on developing innovative real estate solutions based on advanced technology and sustainability. The winners will be announced during the upcoming Cityscape Bahrain 2024 conference on November the 28th. The Minister of Industry and Commerce, Abdullah Fakhro, visited a number of factories in Salman Industrial City as part of the ministry's efforts to increase monitoring of all developments in the industrial sector and identifying its current requirements and future plans. Fakhro praised the development of the industrial sector in Bahrain and expansion of cooperation between the public and private sectors, stressing the importance of supporting innovative and technology in enhancing the competitiveness of local industries. Fakhro was briefed on the latest projects of existing factories and the modern technologies used in production, stressing the ministry's readiness to provide the necessary support to investors by facilitating procedures, listening to their suggestions and taking them into consideration to improve the business environment in Bahrain. The visit included the Yuko Engineering Limited factory and the Bahrain Agriculture, Foods, Storage and Security Company. The head of the ISF Executive Committee, Ali Ishaqi, affirmed that this edition of the Gymnasiad is a starting point to create world and Olympic champions, and it provides an international platform to discover young talents and develop their potentials. He pointed out that the directors of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa played a pivotal role in the success of the Gymnasiad, along with the keen follow-up of the Minister of Education and chairman of the Higher Organising Committee. He added that the results achieved so far are encouraging for all participating teams, as male and female players presented a distinguished performance. The head of the committee praised the role of the official authorities and sponsoring companies in the kingdom, which enhanced Bahrain's reputation as a global sports centre capable of hosting major events. He stressed that Bahrain continues to provide the best of all sporting and organisation at all levels, in line with the kingdom's ambitions and future aspirations. The third day of the ISF Gymnasiad included a wide range of competitions in various sports and games, spread across various sports facilities, providing a rich and exciting sporting atmosphere for enthusiasts and participants from all over the world. This is one of the most diverse and exciting days of the ISF Bahrain 2024 event to meet the aspirations of fans and participants in a vibrant sporting atmosphere with an integrated sporting experience for all. Khalifa Sports City hosted the shooting and swimming competitions, which witnessed an enthusiastic atmosphere by the participants and attendees and reflected positively on the distinctive performance of the competitors in the event. Meanwhile, in Isa Sports City, competitions varied between several halls and arenas where table tennis, taekwondo, badminton and Paralympic badminton competitions were held, while the outdoor arena of the city witnessed beach volleyball. The 3x3 basketball competitions and the futsal hall at Isa Hall Sports City also hosted wrestling competitions, handball, chess, tennis and boxing competitions were also held in a number of halls and gymnasiums. The Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority organised a special tourism programme for the delegates participating in the Nasiad 2024, which included visits to the most prominent tourist and cultural destinations in the Kingdom of Bahrain. More in this report.
The Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority organized tours for delegates participating in the Gymnasiad 2024 to the most prominent tourist and cultural attractions in the Kingdom of Bahrain. The road journey of the delegates reflects the kingdom's prestigious position as an exceptional tourist destination. These tours are an effective way to enhance interaction and an opportunity that will remain engraved in the hearts of visitors to enhance cultural understanding and deepen the bonds between visitors and the country by visiting popular markets, heritage and archaeological sites.
It's been great. The organization is really structured really well. We're having fun. The competition is great. All of it is a great experience overall. It's been amazing to see. I've never been in this part of the world. It's crazy to see all the people here, the new costumes as well, and yeah, all the structures. It's been amazing.
The tour aims to familiarize visitors with the history and culture of the kingdom and enhance the knowledge of participants by providing an exceptional tourism experience that contributes to establishing the kingdom as a distinguished attraction. Participants of the event expressed joy in the tours and appreciated the warm welcome and generous hospitality they received, admiring the beauty of the kingdom's history and heritage.
IFM, هلا Bahrain, oh yeah, 2024, let's go.
We come from near, we come from far, shining all the way, we'll reach for the stars. Through every challenge, we'll give it our all. Together we're stronger, we stand as one.
Welcome to Bahrain, witness greatness cause we got game. We love the competition, feels like we on a mission. Trust me, it feels the same. Now watch me, you can't stop me. I'ma work till you see me in top three. Success is on my mind only, cause I'm thinking about winning that trophy. This is my time to shine every day, I stay on the grind. Let's keep growing, we ready, let's keep going. The future is ours, 24 hours working just to prove to the doubters that I got what it takes to be worth it.
We come from near, we come from far, shining all the way, we'll reach for the stars. Through every challenge, we'll give it our all. Together we're stronger, we stand as one. Oh, 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 oh.
Issa Sports City hosted the Night of Nations as part of the ISF Gymnasiad Bahrain 2024, bringing together cultures from around the globe in an atmosphere of cultural exchange and mutual understanding. The event drew a large audience from participating delegations and local attendees. Each delegation showcased a unique pavilion, creatively reflecting their country's heritage and culture. The Night of Nations featured a series of musical performances and traditional dances from the various delegations. This format highlighted the distinct artistic and cultural elements of each country's national heritage. The audience responded enthusiastically to the array of performances, and the participants expressed their admiration and gratitude for the organisers, praising the event for creating an opportunity for meaningful cultural communication among countries.